I said, no thanks. I heard there's water already in there.
Hello and welcome to the Part-Time Gamers, the gaming podcast for people with full-time lives. I'm Cyrnex, clocking in with my good friends 9 of 12.
Hello, I'm 9 of 12.
And that one weirdo.
So there's a sale on soil at Home Depot, and the prices are dirt cheap.
Okay, are we talking good dirt or bad dirt? So,
yes,
because there is a difference. I mean, my wife is a gardener. She would know the difference between good dirt and bad dirt.
There is a huge difference. Yes.
Yes.
I have learned that from my girlfriend's grandma. Like, she has this beautiful garden in the front of her house. And it's like, oh, so this is what happens. Like, dirt can actually get, like, infected. Like, it can actually have all these things, issues with it and stuff like that. And I'm like, I thought it was just dirt,
Yeah.
No,
like
there's
I said,
so much more to it. It's pretty impressive.
Welcome to Dirtcast.
Yeah. We give you the dirt on gardening.
I'm pretty sure that would legitimately be a podcast my wife would listen to.
I'd be there for it.
All right. Before we start getting too much into this new idea, let's go ahead and get into our icebreaker.
Nice of you to drop by.
Never heard that one before.
All right. So we already had a zombie apocalypse question before on the show, so I wanted to go a little bit more into a traveling question for this one to kind of go with the theme of our game today. So question we have this week is, if you could travel to any fictional world, where would you go?
Dang.
So
Isn't it weird how, like, real traveling, we're like, we would go there, and then it's like fictional stuff that we're really into. It's like, that place looks beautiful, but I think I'd die.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like my like in the pre-show, we were talking about how I've been back into Titanfall 2 and everything. And it's like, I don't know if I would want to live in that world. There's a lot of like mechs just killing the crap out of people. So
yeah. Mount Doom looks cool up until you think about it, because you're like, well, that's an Iced Earth album cover come to life, and then it's like, orcs, fire, death.
Yeah.
I'll pass.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's too hard.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, not even easing me back. It's like, here you go.
Yeah. I don't. Despite a lot of the conflict and such, I think like just the world of Star Trek is because of the like how much technology they have and everything, and the fact that there's they have planets that are completely dedicated to basically vacation. That might cool. Yeah, that might cool.
I guess I'd have to say the Shire.
Yeah, I mean,
farm all day, drink, smoke weed with Gandalf, lather, rinse, repeat. Sign me up.
Yeah, I mean, if you're able to ignore everything else that happens in that world, yeah,
but nothing comes to them. Like, it all kind of went. I mean, when they figured out the ring, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's meant to be idyllic in the sense that it is removed from everything else and very intentionally. So, I mean, I'd probably get super lazy. Like, I'd be like a terrible farmer. They'd be like, plant stuff. I'd be like, nah, pass.
My chair's too comfy.
Either that or oh God, come on, brain. Rivendell. Once again, Lord of the Rings. So
yeah.
I'd hang out with Kate Blanchett all day. That's cool.
Be like, I'd love to be one of the Adamses. But I guess it's not a whole world. You know what? Pokemon Arceus. Like, we never did talk about that game, and I played it a good bit, and I keep going back here and there, and it's got, like, that would be a great place, because the dangers aren't like direct to you. You get to, and it's a really neat, like, it's a time travel game. If you don't know that, like, you've gone or dimension travel. I don't know. You've gone somewhere where, like, it's brand new. They're like, most people don't believe in Pokemon training yet. Like, they think they're just dangerous wild animals and we can't exist peacefully. And you're kind of learning that and teaching it to other people, and there's neat like kind of anthropological stuff to explore and discover, and there's like gardening stuff and cooking stuff. Like it's a fantastical life, but it's got mundane stuff if you're not just go catch them all right now. And I don't know, I like the progression, and it's less dangerous but super beautiful and interesting. Like the whole history living out of time and space thing. I really like that idea. So I need to take an avatar, because I mean I'd look really weird there. But
oh, actually, thinking about it now, I think one of the most interesting fictional places to go to would probably be Montana. I'm not certain if it actually exists, so I think I think that'd be a nice place to go. Maybe visit. Oh. Sorry, that was a bad joke. Anyway,
that was pretty good.
All right,
it was good. It was good.
I'm workshopping and everything. It's been busy. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, I had a little person asking me a question.
Your boom looks so sturdy.
I crank the hell out of the screws in this thing. It's like, because I have it set up.
The bracket itself looks like you could kill someone.
Yeah, like this. I purposely make all this stuff so it moves as little as possible. I like consistency.
Made mine look very spindly.
Yeah. Yeah, I purposely like go out of my way to like reinforce everything so it moves as little as possible, because I like the consistency. I cannot stand goosenecks. I hate goosenecks. It's like, no, I don't want this just floppy thing to, mess with me. Anyway, I prefer having my hands be the floppy things that are messing with me.
There you go.
Anyways, all right. Yeah, that's actually a tougher question than I thought it was going to be. Like, even like thinking about it myself, it's like, because there are so many different fictional worlds, and the problem is, so many of these fictional worlds, because they're from stories, from movies and books and stuff like that, they inherently have to have some kind of conflict in them. And I'm just like, I don't want to deal with the conflict. I just want the peaceful stuff. So honestly,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Theo's answer of Rivendell is a good one.
Yeah.
Like, that song, the song Rush did, is one of my go-to, like, just sit down with that if I'm having a no good, very bad day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
my happy place.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that one just comes to mind because it's like, I mean, when I think of, because there's so many worlds to like explore, like being a big Batman fan, it's like Gotham City, and it's like, wait, that's a crime-ridden hellhole. Yeah. So,
Yeah, exactly.
It's like we have enough of those in the real. We have enough of those in the real world. Like, I don't want to go to a fictional one. I don't care how much
when nothing was hitting the fan.
Yeah.
I don't care how much I don't care how much Bruce Wayne is worth. Like, it's just another, it's just another.
Yeah. We have enough of those kinds of
crime-ridden place.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I used to live in one of those cities. Like, I used to live in residential Detroit, and not the good part of it. So I don't want to go back to that. So no thanks. That's why I said, like, Star Trek. It's like go off in like some ship and out in the middle of whatever, and just like have the holodeck and the the bars and stuff.
There you go.
Yeah.
Holodeck.
Yep.
Yes.
And you just turn on the safety settings and have
the holodeck be perfect. Yep.
Make your own world in there. All right. Oh. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and jump into our water cooler talk.
You get that thing I sent you?
Yeah,
All right, Ember, what did you bring to us today?
Oh, what did I bring? It was, story. So, still working on stuff. I went looking for something new, but I found something that happened during Summer Game Fest that I thought was nifty. And apparently it went super viral, but I didn't see anything. I guess I was too busy watching the show. But there was this big billboard in LA that greeted all the big developers showing up. And it kind of was lamenting the loss of all the layoffs in the gaming industry that keep coming up. And it listed a bunch of them. It said "Gone but not forgotten," and listed like Arcane, Austin, Tango Gameworks, Volition. Some of the ones Microsoft put down, downsized, and all of that. And it was put up by Stephen Totlio, Stephen Totlio posted the video, but it was New Blood put it up. And then there was like another screen that said, "We love you, we miss you, we hate money."
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much been a motto of mine as well. Is I hate money.
I know, how many times have we said that in the last couple of months?
Yes.
It's been like, damn it, stupid money.
Yeah,
and in my personal, like my husband's laid off. It's stupid money.
Yeah.
But it had some unintended consequences. Like they really just wanted to give a shout out to all those people going through a hard time, and that's great. But and it resonated with those developers. But there was like some of these execs that were really, obviously defensive and upset. And I mean, it cost him a whole lot of money to do it, but he's made the point that it cost less than those developers were paying to just have their trailer played at these shows.
Yeah.
For the games they're making, that they just laid people off who made them.
Yeah. Well, again, corporate going to corporate, and it's just it sucks, but it's just
Well, I appreciate this punk rock move.
Yeah.
By New Blood.
Yeah, just bringing attention to it and not letting it go by the wayside, I think is important. Just layoffs in general suck. I mean, the corporate side of my brain is like, it understands because it's like your whole goal as a company is to make money, and sometimes the best way to make sometimes the best way to make money is to do as much work with the fewest number of people as possible. That mathematically makes sense, but just that whole process of having to get down to that number sucks.
Yeah. He was trying to give a shout out, but it was seen as trolling the industry bigwigs. Sorry, not sorry is probably where he's sitting. And
yeah, pretty much. I mean, think even like there's a quote in here. It costs a lot, but not that much.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, Theo, what did you bring for us today?
Oh, me, it's either, Ubisoft doing Ubisoft things, but this time around, I decided to go for the easy kill. And when I say easy kill, it's Kill the Justice League, Suicide Squad. That game you heard about, you turned on for 5 minutes, and then you looked in the mirror after minute 6 and go, what am I doing with my life? So, I mean, and I'm speaking for everyone, but I did have that reaction that literally happened to me, did the same thing. So, Prime Day, not to be confused with Optimus Prime Day, where we, celebrate the, the matrix of leadership.
Yeah.
No, the other Prime Day with the live action Lex Luthor, Jeff Bezos. But Prime Day is coming up, and I unfortunately subscribe to Prime, and I watch The Boys, so I identify my buy-in to that. But they are going to have for free for members, Prime members, you can play and download Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League during those 2 days. And they're going to have it available on Luna, which I have. And yes, it's going to be free, and you're still overpaying for it. It's
yeah.
This is just another way, because we talked about this, and I've gone over this game in great detail. I mean, I've talked about this game more than I ever played the dang thing, so that's saying something.
Yeah.
But this is another way, and we talked about an article not that long ago, a couple weeks back, maybe, or a few weeks back, where they're halting certain releases, certain DLCs that they had in the mix, because after you saw their version of Dr. Freeze and the Joker, it's like, okay, what are you really going to put out?
Yeah.
Oh, that was it. Oh, you're going to take an awesome piece of DC IP like the Suicide Squad, and you're going to give us the Temu version. Got it. So,
Not inaccurate.
this is another. Yeah, it's and it's unfortunate because the level of development this game went through, and how much money it's lost, and there used to be really amazing DC games, and somewhere along the way, somebody went, "Hey, people really like this. Stop that." And we've been flush with some really just bland, mediocre, nonsensical games. And putting it out for free is another way to kind of, I think, re-engage some level of interest, because obviously if you do it through Amazon, technically it's a bigger audience to kind of push out to, and kind of give it some notice and notoriety. Even with as much this game has lost, not just financially but in general, they're not entirely letting go. As you can see, they're kind of pumping the brakes. And you know what? It might free up another avenue as far as like not just this game but DC games, and kind of go more for this type of more inline market, or online market I should say, and just be that much more accessible to people. For those of you out there who are Prime members who have not had any engagement with this game, and it's like, oh, I can just get it. Don't. Just think of it like Nancy Reagan in the 80s. Just say no.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
yeah, we were mentioning in the pre-show like some it's a comparison to like this, which is a AAA, fully priced, intended to be live service game, and comparing it to Helldivers 2, which is not a fully priced game. It's an independent studio, and how like the big doom and gloom headlines for Helldivers with it, losing 90% of its player base and everything. It's still up to like 40,000 players concurrent on Steam, and that's
a lot. That's quite good.
Compared to, I think, like they actually had an article. I read one of those doom and gloom articles about Helldivers, and they actually make mention to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. At the time of writing that article, they had about 400 concurrent players playing it.
Yes.
That's mind-boggling.
I'd like
and it
to
was
play
all
it.
people.
I have Prime, but I can't.
And it was, I kid you not, it was, I literally think those 400 people are people who work for WB Games just to try to keep their job. Yeah. Oh, hang on, let me move the knob a little bit. Oh, I'm moving. Look at me. I mean, it's worth a play just to say you kind of got it out of your system. And we've also had this talk where, and I admit this freely, being a big DC fan, I'm a little biased. But I also know that what we used to see just, 10, 12 years ago out of DC games was pretty, bless you, was pretty phenomenal.
Pardon me?
Bless you.
And now, we have, and Gotham Knights, that was rough, but that got a little under the radar. There was that Avengers game that was just horrendous. And there's just something about, like, they're trying to translate this stuff from movies where it's worked, and it's like, well, here's the CW version of all that great stuff you loved. And it's like, well, you set an expectation and you set a bar in a certain fashion. The expectation is to at least meet, if not exceed. Yeah. And yes, you're not going to get a lot of these characters back, voice actors, whatever, price, budgets, and stuff like that. But to kind of give you an idea of like this whole Prime thing, look back at like the development and just how much of a Charlie Foxtrot this all turned into. And we're not even talking about them. We're not even at the point with all this Charlie Foxtrot stuff where they're starting to kind of push the advertising on this game. Like, it was already, I mean, it was just so seemingly destined to fail. And I remember, like, on PS5 on Network, they were pushing it and stuff like that, and a lot of it just felt like, even the trailers, you're like, "Ugh," and they're like, "Hey, you want the $140 version of this?" And it's like, no, I don't think I want the $1.40 version of this.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like if you had Suicide Squad sock puppets game, then yeah,
Yeah,
could you imagine that Harley Quinn?
yeah. Like
I'd pay money.
yeah, yeah. When this game came out, I've never played it. I don't have a I don't have a console. Period. So I couldn't play it on that. But nor do I actually want to play it at all. But I watched a playthrough of it just to see like what's going on with it, and just like even with all the like repetitive stuff cut out, the game is just not exciting.
Yep.
Like even like the big boss fights against the Justice League characters are seemingly very basic, and the actual deaths, like if you're going to have something as big as killing the Justice League, these big name characters, their deaths should be exciting. They should be a cinematic thing. And
Yes.
not the only death that I saw that was actually cinematic wasn't even done by the Suicide Squad. It was when Superman killed Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
That was the most cinematic death of the entire game. Like the actual fights that you have against them, the deaths of them are very anticlimactic and disappointing.
Bang.
Pretty much.
Oh, look, got him. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a lot of that. It's just so basic, and it feels so crammed together. And it's funny how they're trying to push all this content even before pumping the brakes. And it's like, don't go after the content. Don't go after adding characters and things. Hone this stuff in. Make the gameplay engaging and not just so lather, rinse, repeat. And even with the visuals tapped in to kind of like, oh, will you like that? And it's like, oh, yeah, obviously we like that. But we want a storyline worth kind of handing ourselves and our time over to. And they don't even have that going for them. So, yeah, if you get a chance, I mean, on Prime, it's worth a kind of just, okay, I did that. And now I'm going to go watch paint dry again. That's cool.
Yeah, pretty much.
I want to learn how to use this Prime Gaming stuff because I haven't, other than getting drops, connecting Prime to Twitch and being able to get stuff in games, and my kids picking up stuff in games they play. But at the end of the article Theo gave us, it says there's a whole bunch of other games.
There's a ton
lead up
of games.
titles available. Are those all going to be free?
Mm-hmm.
Because Knights of the Old Republic 2, that's something I could play through Steam.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how to connect Steam to my Prime to I gotta figure out how to get this stuff free.
Yeah. Yeah,
that
I just
would be
noticed
useful information. These are there's a bunch of games in here that look like a lot of fun.
Yeah, like one of them I see in here is Card Shark. That I have that on my Steam wish list. That'd be fun to play. I actually have played
Solstice.
Yeah.
What was the other one I was?
Yeah, I actually did play
Treasures Revenge.
Knights of the Old Republic 2 when it came out.
Hitman
Way back in the day.
And even what they have, like, normally, they have a great amount of games. Like, I really enjoy Luna. It's kind of pivoted, obviously, because having a PS5. But I honestly have to say that there is a lot that it has going for it. And I think this is kind of a play with Suicide Squad to kind of get that broader, just kind of push it out there and then try to kind of either find a new audience or kind of reinvigorate it. So you can actually use other types of controllers. Because I have an Xbox controller and an actual Luna controller, and Luna controllers now I think are like $20.
Can I use 3 bananas?
No, but you can use 4.
Okay.
So people know, and you all know, if you go to Prime Gaming, gaming.amazon.com/home, a bunch of these are available now. You don't have to wait till Prime Day. It's got buttons I can claim, SOTW, Knights of the Old Republic, Alex the Kid, Shredder's Revenge. They just have claim buttons on them. If you've got Prime, you can go get a bunch of these free games right now.
Hook it up.
Cool.
Card Shark's on there too, Sean.
Yeah, that's the one that I want to check out the most. That's been on my wish list for a while now. Like I said, I've played the original. I played Knights of the Old Republic 2 when it came out back in the day, and not nearly as good as the original. There's just they had some.
Never get around to playing either, so I just really want to try it.
The first one is amazing. It's like genre-defining gameplay. It actually was really good for Star Wars. The second one, it became horribly unbalanced. Like to the point where it's like, okay, I jump in and immediately kill a Sith Master. Doesn't even they barely even get a chance to ignite their lightsaber and they're just dead. And then you get to the final boss and it's like, I cannot damage her at all.
Right.
So it's like there was just some horrible balancing issues. And it got to the point where I typically will play female characters in a lot of RPG games like this. And it's like I got to the point where my character wasn't wearing armor. She was literally wearing a dancing outfit and just murdering everyone without any effort. I think she had it used his D&D system, D20 system in it. And I think she had a strength of over 40 at one point, just with basic equipment and stuff. It's it got crazy unbalanced. But yeah, I'm still hoping for the Knights of the Old Republic remakes.
Oh heck yeah.
Yeah. Because the story was amazing. It's just the gameplay got a little weird at times. All right. Article I'm bringing today. So I don't know if we actually mentioned it on the show, but the next World of Warcraft expansion, when did it? I forgot when the expansion actually comes out. August 26th is when the War Within, World of Warcraft's next expansion, officially releases. But July 23rd, which is in literally a week and a half, it's about 9 days from today, the pre-expansion patch is going to be dropping, which includes warbands, which includes the skywriting or the skyflying or whatever they call it now. Skywriting. And the pre-patch event is going to be taking place called the Call of Radiant Echoes. So I've kind of fallen off of, since BlizzCon this past year, I've kind of fallen off of World of Warcraft because I'm getting, I got a couple characters that are max level that just basically I'm just doing dailies or the world quests and stuff like that. So lost a little bit of interest in it, but getting warbands, getting the skywriting, getting this stuff and leading up to the events leading up to the next expansion, I'm kind of getting excited about it again. And like I said, I only have to wait a week and a half for this to come out. And just wanted to mention that that's coming out and really excited about it.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah. All right. Before we get back to work, I would like to mention our Patreon, patreon.com/PTGcast. If you like what we're hearing and like to help us out with our paychecks each month, words come out properly.
Word talk, I say.
Yeah. You can go over to patreon.com/PTGcast, drop us $1, $5, $10. We really do appreciate it, and it all helps us. Thank you. And we, like I said, we really do appreciate it. That's patreon.com/PTGcast. With that, let's go ahead and get back to work.
Morning break is over. Morning break is over.
All right, so continuing our theme this month of These Games Bite, we're going to be talking about Death Road to Canada, which I think is just a hilarious name for a game in general.
That is the best name. I thought it was a Static X album.
Right?
Yeah.
I was like, what?
So yeah, this is Zombie Apocalypse. So that's the bite portion of this. But developed and published by Rocket Cat Games, is $14.99 on Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch, Mac and Windows via Steam, and there actually is a mobile version of this on iOS.
Yes.
Which, strangely enough, the mobile version is still the full price, but it's also only $15. So, but anyway,
There's one on Android too.
Is it? Okay, it didn't mention it didn't mention on Android on the websites, but apparently it's on Android as well. So
Yeah.
But if you listened to us last week, you'd have known you could have got it on sale.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was what, like $9 last week or something like that. I don't remember.
Oh, it was cheaper than that. I got it very, very cheap.
Yeah.
I know that.
But yeah, still even full price, $15, not too bad. Available pretty much everywhere. It is a little bit older game. It actually, I keep on forgetting this. I think this came out in 2016. I keep on forgetting that was 8 years ago now.
Actually,
Time.
Oh yeah.
Time. Why?
Right.
Yes.
It's like,
Oh, I got one for you.
What's that?
I got one for you. So, for those who may or may not know, today, I think it's considered officially today by Paramount, SpongeBob SquarePants is 25 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I keep on thinking like 2016. That was what, like 2-3 years ago? It's like, no, it was 8.
That was 8. Yep.
Anyway.
Looks like $3.99 I got it for.
Nice.
Nice.
So this is a zombie apocalypse roguelite, where you're trying to escape the zombie apocalypse by getting from Florida. You start off in Florida. You're trying to get to Canada, which you hear reports of the zombies are not able to survive there, so it's a safe location. But you have all these like roguelites and everything. Basically, everything on the process of getting there is randomized. So this is one thing that I really appreciate about roguelites and roguelikes and everything. There is actually a difference, but that it has effectively endless replay value. Because each time you play it, it's going to be different. You have to try to figure out how to take what you get and make the best of it. And like that much replay value for $15, I think is a huge value. But like I said, as a roguelite, everything, like pretty much everything is randomized. You start off, like, with the exception of, I think, the car that you start off with. I think that the starting car is always the same. But you can start off with randomized characters. You can make them, I believe, but normally you start off with random characters. You can go 1 or 2 characters to start off with. And basically you're just trying to drive from Florida to Canada. On the way, you can get to different locations to get supplies and everything. You can every so often you get stopped by a siege of zombies. You just have to survive for long enough, and then you're able to escape. You have to try to keep your car fueled or in proper repair and everything. Because if you don't, you're walking until you find a junkyard where you can find another car, which I had happen to me, and it kind of sucks.
Oh man, I had a run earlier where I was walking a lot. I went through a couple of cars.
Yeah. I got to a second car and then got hit by a siege and was in just the wrong place of this convenience store and just got swarmed and everyone died.
Oh yeah, there's a spot I ran into where I just made the wrong choice, and I had a bunch of people with me. I had a team basically, and there were like 3 of us and a dog, and like everyone but me got killed just by making the wrong choice in a yes/no scenario basically.
I mean, and that's one thing that I like is, again, you have events while you're on the road, like even just seemingly random things. Well, actually, pretty much all of it's random, but like conversations between characters in the car can affect their morale, can affect their skills and everything. Like I had one character who has had medical training, and it's like was getting more and more upset because she was trying to help everyone else in the car who was injured, and we didn't have any medical supplies, so her morale was going down because of that. We had one guy who was just, he was just had a negative personality, so it's like he kept on saying all this stuff, and it was affecting everyone in the car.
I know, it's like sometimes you can choose how you answer or how you handle a situation. Other times, somebody just starts spouting off, and everybody gets upset, and you go into your next encounter screwed. Like, hey.
Yeah, but there's also times where the opposite happens, where there's like he's able to give them a pep talk, and it improves their mood and all this stuff. Like, so it is highly randomized, which again gives it a lot of replay value. Each of your runs is going to be different, which I think is great. And it's like even the characters are randomly generated. Like I started off, the character I had martial arts, so she didn't actually need a weapon to fight, which was nice. And then like I found, like, while we were driving, we stopped at this one place and found a fencer who had, like, she was probably our best fighter of the entire group because she had a fencing saber or a rapier. And it had like a huge range. It was doing a crap ton of damage. She was able to take out just about everything. Until we got all swarmed and she got killed, because I had to control her and put her into a corner. But anyways, it's like, and you can even get, the funniest one, I think the funniest ones I've seen, like literally like pugs, like just little dogs running around with shotguns. You can give pets a shooting skill, which I just think is hilarious.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
But, well, cats are already there, but that's still awesome.
Yeah. But
there was a lot of, I don't know, stuff I liked in this game. I love the music.
Yeah.
There's so many cute little, like, it's a handful of genres. Some of it's like bluesy, and some of it's a little rockabilly, and and some of it's like kind of old timey. The last game I was playing before we started tonight was kind of a, I don't know how to describe, like, ragtimey, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a lot, but it's very enjoyable, and it's got a good energy for the game.
Yeah. And it's not all super serious either, which is nice. It does have it does have quite a bit of like tongue-in-cheek humor in it. It's not all super serious. Like, again, the fact that you can have a dog firing a shotgun, that's the kind of humor it has. Just like stuff like that. Oh.
Well, and I felt like each time I played, I was getting better.
Yeah.
I was learning stuff about the mechanics. And for something so simple, and 8-bit looking or whatever, it was, I was learning stuff. I was getting better, like how the different weapons work. Because some timing is a lot in this.
Yeah.
Sometimes running is a lot. Using obstacles, and knowing how the other characters are going to behave, like, once you get to know them, or at least the weapons they're carrying. Because some characters are like, oh, you get somebody on your team and they just don't back you up.
Yeah.
Like, you've got something really slow, and you can swing, and then back off, and they can take them out. But if they don't, you got to change the way you fight, and some of that depends on what weapons you have, and some of it depends on, how you level your characters and what skills you give them.
Yeah, and also it is worth noting that, so one thing that this game doesn't do, I think pretty much at all, really, is really like give you any sort of details on like weapons and stuff like that. Because there was one point, it's like I thought I was using some kind of sledgehammer, and it's like this doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot of damage. There is a pretty extensive wiki on the game, because like I said, it's been out for 8 years, so there's a lot of information out there, and I realized that I wasn't using a sledgehammer, I was using a rubber mallet, and that's why I was not doing a whole lot of damage.
In there.
Yeah. So it's like,
see, I'm a terrible gamer. I refuse to do homework like that unless I've been playing something as long as I've been playing Vampire Survivors, and you have to keep going. So I was doing a lot of hitting buttons and see what happened. I should probably go look at all the controls and figure that out. Like, it took me 3 games in to figure out I could hit C to switch weapons without having to back out into the inventory. Yeah. I still don't know how to spend my Zombo points.
You do that, actually, that's out of the main menu. That's under the unlock.
Yeah, a lot of that kind of stuff isn't super clear. The tutorial doesn't give you any of that up front. It just kind of throws you into the game.
Yeah.
It gives you basic, like, you're using arrows and you're using Z, X, and C, which is also... My fingers do not like that.
Yeah.
They do not. It wanted a WASD. I would key slip thinking, because I automatic, like, whenever I want to use, like, Z to pick something up, my fingers would reach for the other keys because I'm used to... I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest complaints I have about this game is the controls. It's oddly enough, like, it doesn't have any mouse controls at all. So it's just keyboard or just controller. So it takes, you can't remap the buttons. Like, I did go into the menu and remapped all the directions to WASD. But still, just not having mouse control is really weird to me. And makes it a lot harder to aim using keyboard, because you're just aiming basically by just what direction you're facing, what direction you're moving. So which means inherently on a keyboard you're restricted to 8 directions. So I did, and the problem I was having, I have a controller that I did end up playing with, but the problem was it always registered my keyboard as player 1. So I was technically playing as player 2 on the controller, and I couldn't figure out how to, like, disable one to allow the other. Like, I couldn't figure that out. So I think the controls could use some work. The nice thing, though, is theoretically you could have 2 people playing on a keyboard, and just map them to different areas of the keyboard and have 2 people playing on it on one keyboard. I mean, so that's one thing about this is there's no online multiplayer. It's all local multiplayer, but you can have up to 4 players.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can have up to 4 players, but it's all local split screen. It's not multiplayer. It's not online multiplayer. So, the controls can take some getting used to. They could take some tweaking and everything. Overall, I think once you get used to it, I do think controller is better. I think it's a little bit more intuitive than just using keyboard and no mouse. But that's just me. But yeah, going back to the music, and also I wanted to mention the art, which I think the art is hilarious. It's got this very almost whimsical pixel art. I think is hilarious, and really kind of...
in the soundscape, because you whack all these zombies, and then whenever you're walking over their bits, it's all squish. Like,
Yeah, so I think I love the visuals. The music you were saying was really good. The sounds, the sound design, everything. I think it's really good. It really does lend itself to that don't take this too seriously type of mindset, which I think is for its benefit. It is supposed to be just kind of hilarity and panic at times, and that kind of stuff. Overall, though, like I'm discovering more and more I'm how much of a fan of roguelikes and such I am, especially since still Slay the Spire is still one of my favorite games of all time, period. And so I really do like these roguelikes. And this is probably going to be another one that I keep on playing. Jess from the Opinionated Luscious podcast, that's actually who I found this game from. She played it quite a while ago on stream. And it's just, she's much further along than I am and everything. And it was just hilarious to see her just panic at these getting swarmed by zombies and everything. And I also think it's kind of funny. I'm pretty sure there was a point that September that you left the game running overnight because it currently says that you have like over 50 hours in the game. And I'm pretty sure you started like 2 days ago.
Yeah, I just left it open, apparently.
And it's like, wow, she's really getting into this game.
She is going to have a review.
Yeah.
I think I walked away and I left it up there just so, because Rob's been working really hard on his own stream and stuff, and I wanted to leave it open, so I remembered to tell him my Canadian husband that I was playing Death Road to Canada. I figured I'd leave it there and he'd see it when he went to bed. And I just left it open.
Yeah.
I wasn't playing though. You'd think these games could figure that out.
Well, it did. It showed you. It showed you as like a way during that time, but it still adds to your playtime in Steam. So it's like,
maybe that's why I had a lot better options when I played today, because I
Maybe.
played today and all of a sudden I was starting with a gun. All right, you know.
And we kind of glanced over it, but like this is a rogue lite, so you do get unlocks that strengthen your characters, give you better perks and stuff like that, and you do that by getting zombie points, which you can get from surviving sieges and some other events and such like that. You spend those to upgrade. Like I got my first upgrade. I survived one siege in my first playthrough, so I got one zombie point from that. So now I can get, like, I think I upgraded the athlete perk. So now, like, anyone with the athlete perk has better strength, better fitness, and starts with a melee weapon. So that's cool.
I don't know how you're spying on me, and like, I'm not even showing you as a friend who's played this game.
Well, because I have all my stuff hidden, so because I'm xenophobic apparently.
Apparently.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I got almost an hour or something like that in it so far, and probably we'll go back to it though. It's just hilarious and it's a fun time.
I really am enjoying it. I haven't gotten any achievements yet.
Yeah, I don't think I've got any achievements yet. Yeah, I haven't even.
I love the soundtrack. It's so all over the place.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's like, if we're starting in Florida, I think I got to maybe Georgia. Before, like, I don't know geography.
I just noticed earlier today that it shows you the number of the days left driving.
Oh, it does? Okay, I didn't notice that, but
I think that's how you track your progress. Earlier today, I was in a game where I got to like 11 days left.
That's probably a lot better than I got. I think I got to like my second or third siege, and just got swarmed in a convenience store or a grocery store, and I was trying to back myself into a corner so that way it was easier to defend myself, and then realized, like, oh crap, I need to get out of this corner, and just couldn't. There was only one entrance. I'm just like, well, that was poor decision making on my part.
Yeah, things get more and more complicated real quick. And even though you're choosing what building you're going to that you see ahead, sometimes you park around the block and have to get over there through zombies, or through a yard, or...
Yeah,
but it's an opportunity to plan, like, little things about combat, and it is better to run. It's got that in common with Call of Cthulhu, sometimes run, it's fine. Getting dark, and all of a sudden the zombies ramp up, like, things like that. I mean, the game will warn you about that, but kind of only once.
Yeah.
And then you better just remember, it says to watch your time. I haven't figured out exactly how I do that other than it's getting dark. The music lets you know a little.
Yes.
It kind of does a Mario kind of when things.
Yeah.
It's scary. Don't be outside.
Yeah. But yeah, this
more active.
Yeah, it does give you that warning and everything, and you do sometimes. Like, one thing that I remember Jess was doing quite frequently is she would get a little bit too ambitious with trying to get supplies at certain locations, and it's like sometimes it's like just go into one building, whatever you get, that's what you get, and get the heck out of there. Sometimes that's the best tactic if you want to survive. But it's like
there's stuff I was glad I picked up on quick, like with chairs and tables, and shut the door behind you, folks.
Yeah.
When you go in a new room, shut the door behind you. Like, gaining some kind of control. There's stuff about the paranoid way, I think. Not putting my back to exits and things. I know Thea and I have had this discussion, trying to find a table at a restaurant we can both sit, like, comfortably in.
Where's he coming from? No, you stay there.
Yeah.
But in a game like this, I automatically think of, like, Oh no, close the door behind me, and then I'm gonna put a table. I'm gonna move that table over there so that when I exit, like they can only come out one direction. I can take them off if there's a bunch when I open the door again. Like,
Yeah.
but that gets harder to do. And I think it does mention early on in the game when you first start in the tutorial, like if you're adding anyone to your party, how that complicates getting around.
Yeah.
Because you really, like, if you get a small room and you've got 4 of you, it becomes really tricky, especially if everyone has like a slow weapon or whatever.
Yeah.
But I like all that added tactical stuff in such a a simple game. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, like I said,
I wish I had a little more. Like, as much as I hate inventory and having to keep track of all that, it is frustrating to like. What do you mean no one got patched up because you didn't have enough medical? I know there's some in my inventory. It wasn't enough. You do what you can. Let me do it. You can't like just go in your inventory and use a med kit on somebody.
Yeah, like stuff like that's automatic. Like that, food, gas, that kind of stuff is all automatic. It's not something you actively do. But yeah, it's like I said, this is a game I'll go back to. Especially for like $15 full price. That's a steal for the amount of replay value you can get out of this game.
I'm gonna play it a lot, and I got it for that cheap price. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
it's a great price, and it's not Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So
yeah, that is also true.
If it does, like, it's a part-time game.
Yeah, definitely.
You're gonna play a half an hour is a really good run, and you're probably gonna die by then. Like, I imagine some people go longer, but I guess it's got an end when you get to Canada. I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, me either.
So a lot of variability, but it doesn't take forever. And like I said, I played, a handful of times. I probably played like, I don't know, 6 or 7 times, and I felt like I was progressing. I felt like I was getting better at it.
Yeah. Yeah, not just the skill as well, but also like getting the zombie points, being able to get better unlocks, because you can upgrade a bunch of this stuff. You can, like, even that athlete perk that I said, it has, they have 3 levels, so I can make that same perk even more powerful, and anyone with it that I get, will be a better start, better character for it. And there's
even not spending points. There are ways to do that in game. You can buy at the trading areas you come across.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's someone that can train a skill. Like better guns, better combat, better meds,
Yeah.
You can get... Oh, and finding magazines and upping your skills. Sometimes you find magazines and they're just entertaining and everybody's morale goes up.
Yeah. But yeah,
they do a weird thing. For you never have any food when you pick up a magazine and like one person reads it and then it's ruined, or if you share it with everybody, like, oh, and eventually somebody got peanut butter all over it. It's like, we have peanut butter? We could survive days on a jar of peanut butter. Like, and you're getting it on the magazine? Weirdos.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, with the events, like, in ones that you have a choice, there's no clear answer of which one's the best choice, or, like, the most beneficial choice. It's like sometimes
some are flashing red, and it's like, does that mean I'm gonna get good stuff, or are you warning me? I can't tell.
Is this like, a good flashing red?
Yeah. Yeah. It's difficult to tell, so you just kind of have to make a choice. Like, it makes it so there's not really any correct choice. There's, just what happens to happen during your run.
It's like if there were a real zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
You have plenty of choices. None of them are great.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, like I keep on saying, the replay value, and I think is amazing, especially for that price. It like September said, it's perfect for part-time gaming. You can do a complete run in like half an hour, maybe longer if you're lucky. But like then you can still. I'm pretty sure it auto saves at some point. I think.
When I relaunch, I was in the middle of playing again when we started.
I
couldn't help myself. I knew I didn't have time.
Yeah,
I'm kind of hoping. Know how to save it. It's got save slots.
Yeah,
but whenever I've gone back in, none of them have anything. I've not played until I died every time until now. So
yeah, I'm honestly kind of hoping that this turns into another Vampire Survivors for you. Uh, we come back
I want to
here
get
like,
into Hades though, man.
oh, true. Oh man, I still need to get Hades too. Oh, there's so many dang games. Anyway,
Yeah, who was playing Hades? Oh, Bobby Frankenberger was playing
Yeah.
Hades, and now I'm like itching for it.
yeah,
I
because
got kind of stuck and quit playing.
yeah, I just again it's I have this like I get about 100 hours into a game and that's when I start to like kind of fall off and want to look for something else. And I think that's exactly what happened with Hades. It's like there are so many great games that it's like when I want to play them, they're amazing. But it's just getting into the mood for these games at certain times. But yeah, there's so many games I need to get back into. Anyways, this will be added to the list as well because I like roguelikes, so I like that gameplay and the fact that it's very part-time gamer friendly. So
Hey, good news. I launched it to see, and it
Yeah.
does have one of the buttons has turned into a continue option.
okay, that's what I thought. A lot of roguelites
So
have
it does
that.
autosave.
Yeah, yeah. If you have to leave in the middle of the run, it'll pick up where you left off. A lot of roguelites have that, so that's good. Good to know. All right, yeah, this will be added to my list. I'm just seriously going to make a spinner wheel of games, just so I don't have to keep spending so much time figuring out what game I
There
want
you
to
go.
play. Because like there's no wrong answers really. It's just like I just need someone to decide.
Okay, I've got an hour.
Yeah,
Spin the wheel.
pretty much. Not inaccurate. All right, but I think we've covered just about everything on this game. So everyone, if you like what you've heard and you'd like to help us out, you can give us a review over on Apple Podcast. You can follow my Twitch and or YouTube channels for our live recordings Sunday nights starting at 9:15 Eastern Time. Or you can become one of our patrons at patreon.com/ptgcast. If you'd like to contact us, you can with our email, parttimegamers.cast@gmail.com. Or you can join our Discord channel. Yes, you can join our Discord channel. Yes. Yes, PTG Kinks. That'll be our next podcast.
I had to back it up. I was typing and my fingers automatically went there. I don't know why.
The fact that
I
was
caught it, but
automatic
I had to tell ya.
is telling. Anyway,
This happened automatically. What are you gonna do?
all right, I'm gonna have to write this down just in case we have another podcast idea. Anyway, everyone, thank you for listening. Please join us next week for our discussion of V Rising. We started with sharks, then went to zombies, and now we're finishing off with vampires. I'm Sean. You can find the show and the rest of my work and links to my socials, including our Discord channel, my Twitch and YouTube channels, and the Apple Podcast listing, using the link bit.ly/CI Productions. Ember, where can people find you around the internet?
The best thing to do is go to 9 of 12. That's NINEOF12.com.
And Theo, where can people find you? Not on the internet, I mean in real life. Just completely dox yourself right now.
Yeah. Usually at the county jail, but hey, who knew that they actually enforced the do not remove tags on mattresses? I just, seemed like a good dare. I was going to get a turkey sandwich and a, Capri Sun out of it, but what do I know? No, I can be found at, welcome back, folks. It can be found at Rabbit and Red Radio. We're back to 2 episodes a month. We've got one coming up next month, or next week. Wow, speaky good, no talky, we'd say. And that's going to be kicking off at 7 p.m. 1900 for you military folks, Eastern time.
All right.
I mean, 7 Eastern time, 1900 is... Yeah, never mind.
Time. It exists. Be there when it happens.
Talk.
Yeah. All right. Everyone, until next time, we are the Part-Time Gamers clocking out.